Hello, I'm Harry Greenberger, host for this show and president of the New Orleans Secular Humanist Association. Thanks for joining us again. Our guest today is Forest Bradley-Wright, who is the Sustainable Rebuilt Director at the Alliance for Affordable Energy. And what we're going to talk about today should be of interest to everyone in a home, because we're going to talk about home energy efficiency. And you will see displayed on the table here quite a number of products, and I want to assure you that this is not an infomercial, and we're not going to be asking you to buy anything. So with that introduction, Forrest, let's talk about making homes more energy efficient.
Wonderful. Well, Harry, again, thank you so much for having me this morning. And probably the first and important thing to understand is that if you are living in a historic home, there are a lot of things that you can do to make that home energy efficient. We know how the windows and doors can be very drafty, sometimes even under the floors, and it can be so hard to heat and cool those homes in a cost-effective way. The good thing is that the different products and the techniques that you would use that I can discuss with you today can help you to make your home more energy efficient and actually at the same time more comfortable. So tell me, do you have any specific questions, maybe where I should start, and then I can walk you through some of these?
Right now I'm sitting next to some hard hats, and I'm not sure what that has to do with energy efficiency, but start anywhere you'd like.
Well, why don't I start there? That's a great place to begin. The hard hats will not be needed for most minor energy efficiency jobs in the home. Of course, it's always good to practice safety when doing work in the construction area. The hard hats also send, I think, a message. You see these ones are green. There are people who are learning the skills to go into homes and to make them energy efficient. This is the work that they would like to do. So as energy efficiency use increases, jobs are created. And in New Orleans, there is, of course, great many homes. I would say the vast majority of homes in this city that really do need energy efficiency improvements made to them.
Not just the historic homes, which you mentioned previously, but probably almost any home in the city.
Almost any home. And the construction practices that are prevalent. We move into homes, and very often the energy efficiency measures were not given quite as much attention as they needed to. So those high energy bills, there is a reason, and it's that the home can be made more energy efficient. So today I'll be talking about the energy efficiency opportunities in two parts of the home: the interior space, the rooms that we live and spend our time in, and in the attic. It's not a place that for many of us we spend much time, maybe not even thinking about very much, but it has great importance for how your home performs with regard to energy.
All right, well, let's talk about the interior space, and I see that you have a variety of items here, some of which are recognizable to most people and some of which may not be. So just tell us how these things fit into improving your home efficiency.
All right. Well, one that may look familiar is the compact fluorescent light bulb, and you can see these in stores everywhere now. It wasn't too long ago that wasn't the case, where this technology was known to be more energy efficient but fairly unfamiliar, a little bit hard to find. They're now everywhere. And the reason that I start here, of course, is because what could be easier than changing a light bulb? You take out the old incandescent light bulb and you put in the new compact fluorescent. This bulb uses 75% less energy than the old incandescent bulbs.
And so this is something that even a renter, as opposed to a homeowner, can do for his own savings.
Absolutely.
Now, many of the things you're going to talk about, I think, depend upon home ownership. Is that correct?
Many of them. Many are fairly minor, but if, of course, it's your own home, you don't need to ask permission. If you are renting, it probably would be a good idea to go ahead and ask So why don't I go from
Yes.
there into what you can do to air seal a house?
Do that.
This is a very important way to improve the energy performance and lower your energy bills. Of course, we cool our homes in the summertime. We heat our homes in the wintertime. And the winter this year has been very cold.
Yes, and it still is.
It still is. As well as the kind of storms that have come through, very windy. And when you have those windy storms, it becomes very easy to see where you have air leakage in your home. Some homes, older homes, you might even hear windows rattling a little bit. And one very telltale measure, you could, of course, in a very windy time, walk around and even kind of feel the draft. You can feel it on the back of your hand, might be near a window or door.
Well, now there's the problem. What's the solution?
Okay, so the solution is to identify those energy leaks in the home. There are professionals that can provide a service. It's called an energy rating. This is a building science trained individual that uses diagnostic equipment. It's called a blower door. They turn this on and can identify where all of the air infiltration is in the house. Then provide a list of recommendations. One of the first recommendations is likely to be air sealing the interior of the house, also known as weatherization. So I have a few different things here. One of them that I hope is familiar to people, this is a caulk gun and can be used in particular around window and door frames, which are very common sources of air infiltration in New Orleans homes.
And that's something a person can do on his own. He doesn't necessarily have to have a contractor do that.
That's true. And unfortunately, the materials that you use for air sealing a house are really quite inexpensive. You can find them very conveniently at local stores. It's not rocket science. It is a skill. I'll pick that back up in a minute. Thank you so much. But it is a skill that people are training for. Because we know that there are more and more people who would like to have these improvements, and they'd like to be able to just pick up the phone and have someone come out. So some of the other things that they would likely do in your house. You see, I have these are insulating gaskets. You can tell by the shape that this would go behind the electrical outlet. This would go behind a light switch plate, particularly on exterior walls of the house. If there is a draft behind the wall, this can be a place that it can come all the way through into the house.
I have never seen that product before.
Yes, and it's very obviously inexpensive. It's a very simple product. In order to work, all of the air leaks in the house need to be identified, and you really want to address them all at once so that you don't have air leakage that you're stopping in one place, kind of finding out another place.
Okay.
So another place that air leakage can happen is around the windows and doors. I mentioned you can caulk around those. You can also use weather stripping. So this would be where the door opens and closes, and where the window opens and closes, that you would use
you
weather
wouldn't
strip.
caulk, because then they wouldn't open and close.
Exactly.
All right, you have a weather stripping sample there?
So this is a kit. There are actually 3 pieces in here. This is for use with your door, so for the sides and for the top. What you'll notice about this one is that it is metal with a rubber sort of gasket that goes around the edge. This is important because there are products that are nominally for the same purpose. They're made out of a kind of foam material with a sticky back, kind of like a sticker. And our experience is that they simply don't stay on. You open and close that door a few times, and before long, it's falling off. And that's really not what you want. You want to have permanent improvements.
And the one you're holding in your hand, this type is available in local stores?
It sure is.
Okay.
And the important thing that you see is there are holes all through the metal at various points where you can screw this in so that it goes in and it stays.
Very good.
For your door, of course, there's 4 edges. You've got the sides, the top, and the bottom, and you would use a door sweep. And a door sweep, it's a very similar concept. Again, it's something that you will mount to the bottom with screws. It has a flap on the bottom. And here is something that is a telltale. If you can, on a sunny day, look at your door when the sun is on that side of the house and see light streaming through, you know you have a lot of air leakage. And that means that your door is a great candidate for a weatherization kit and a door sweep.
Okay, what else
The
you
same
got?
would be for windows. So you'll see, again, this is a product that is made out of a durable